Morning, everybody. My name's Kate Ritzer, and I, along with my husband, have been parishioners here at St. Rose for 22 years. We've been blessed with 4 children, 2 grandchildren, and 1 on the way. I was born and raised Catholic. We raised our children Catholic. God's inspirations had me evaluating my life during COVID. I started questioning what was important and what was not. The Lord has always been a part of my life. I've always attended services. I've always given back inside and outside of the church. I discussed sermons and Catholic issues with friends and family. My COVID self-examination revealed that what was important to me before no longer was, and I needed to dive into it. November 28, 2021, Father preached the first of his 4 Kerygma sermons. The Kerygmas teach that there is something bigger at stake, something that demands a response, something that you must see right now. These teachings resonated with my state of mind at the time. They penetrated me so deep that I knew I had to search that unknown territory. I started with spiritual reading. I read the Bible, read many books on saints. I took theology-based classes and conferences. I attended retreats. I noticed movement in my heart and actions. My thoughts were turning more and more to the Lord. I've always prayed, but now I developed prayer time. Wounds were healing. Forgiveness was happening. I was building a new relationship with the Lord. This past New Year's Eve, the 10 individuals, including Father, that went to the Grand Rapids, Michigan Encounter Conference, landed back here after 3 days of prayer, fellowship, workshops, and no sleep. That weekend's masses, Father spoke about the healings he witnessed during the Encounter Conference. He talked about the woman whose muscles healed after what we think was a C-section. He spoke of one of the individuals that accompanied him from his parish, and that person was me. When I was 16 years old, I fractured my scapula. I had no injury, no trauma for this to happen. It just broke. I remember the docs telling my parents, "You don't understand, scapulas don't just break. You have to beat on them with a hammer for it to break." There isn't much you can do for a broken scapula. I wore a sling. I remember it being the color red. Ever since, I've had pain that comes and goes underneath that scapula. At times, there's a hard golf ball-sized knot that produces much discomfort. My arm movement, upper back area, has been inhibited because of this pain and this knot. I did everything the doc said to do. I took every test. I did every exercise. I took every medication. Never was there a clear answer. I've incurred 2 back surgeries, one that left me with a balloon filled with cement in my back. The scapular pain has always remained. The finale of the Encounter Conference was a healing service conducted by a gentleman named Damien Stain. I have never been to a healing service before. I had no idea what to expect, and 5 minutes into this, I was skeptical, and he was on stage for 2 hours. As I was sitting in that audience, listening to this gentleman and looking around, witnessing everyone, 2 words popped into my head. 2 words that changed my life. What if? And it was at this point that I had a decision to make. All the readings, all the hours that I spent for the previous 2 years, all culminated at this point. I could either say, who cares? Or I could lean into it. I could lean into what that Holy Spirit was telling me at that moment in time, and I did. What if this gentleman really heals? What if this is real? After all, Jesus appointed others to heal. Peter and John healed the lame man. Once that became clear in my head, I was all in. Every fiber of my being was believing this gentleman, praying alongside him, me and everybody else. During this service, Damien Stein would walk up and down the aisles praying, and he walked up my left-hand side, and he brushed my left arm, and my broken scapula is on my left arm. And immediately that pain was lifted and gone. Before this encounter, a heating pad on my back was a staple every morning and every chance I got during the day. My place of employment gave me the benefit of leaving mid-afternoon so that I could go home and lay flat on my back, preferably on the floor with a heating pad. I no longer need that heating pad. I no longer need Tylenol or Advil. And for good and bad, I no longer leave the office in the middle of the afternoon to go lay on my back. Thank you.